What we're showing you here is some eggshells we're boiling so that we can get the calcium out of the eggshell. So I just wanted to show this little piece here to show that the eggshells are immersed in water. We're going to boil it. Once it boils to a point where there's foam in the water, then it's done. We can take it out, let them cool down, and we'll show you the next step. It takes up to 2 minutes. So what we have here is a bunch of eggshells that we've collected over a couple of weeks. And right now Tanya is peeling the membrane off the inside of it because, as we just showed you, we boiled the eggshells until they created a froth. It took a little more than 2 minutes, about 2 minutes or a little more. And you have to stand and watch it, otherwise it might boil over and create a mess. Then you want to pull it out as soon as it starts to boil. So by doing so, it kind of cooks the membrane a little bit and makes it easy to peel. And that's what we're doing, is removing the membrane.
You see the membrane?
So,
this one.
okay, the membrane?
This one. And it goes like that, so this is a membrane.
Okay, that's the membrane, and that's what we're taking out. So to prepare this, when you're baking or when you're doing, say, scrambled eggs or cooking eggs in a frying pan.
Look at this. I break the shell and I just pull it out and membrane's still there. Or just like that.
Okay. So taking the membrane off is actually quite easy once you've boiled it. And just to help you understand how to do this best is, if you're cracking eggs into a frying pan or using eggs for cooking, after you've cracked the egg and set the shell aside, you want to clean it later to get the residue of whatever's left, the egg from the inside out, so it's cleaned as much as possible. And it may sit for a few days and dry. And that's when you boil it later, when you're ready to do this procedure. So again, we boil the eggshells to a froth, and now we're peeling the membrane out.
It's not so dangerous to have membrane, it's just easy to digest.
Yeah, right. Well, also when we're taking the membrane out, because this dried shell is easier to pulverize, and that's what we want to do, is we want to pulverize it in a blender, and I'll show you that in the next shot.
Membrane is cracking pretty easy, so because I took some membrane from down there.
We finished peeling the eggshells, and here's the membranes that are left. Not a whole lot. There was about maybe 8 or so eggs, 6 or 8 eggs that were in that batch. And then after a couple of weeks, we've got enough to put this much into our blender. And that's probably 2 or maybe 3 dozen eggs that are in there. And we're going to blend it up. Now, the reason we're doing this is because eggshell is a fantastic source of calcium, and it's great for pregnant women. It's something that everybody should do, actually. It's a bioavailable source of calcium. One of the reasons that it's so good is because if you imagine when the chicken when the egg is developing inside the chicken, it's a mother hen protecting her baby. So it's the energy of the embryo being protected by this, by the egg, which is, and of course the egg shell has the calcium in it.
It's 100% calcium.
It's 100% calcium and bioavailable. So, and once we grind it up and put it into the gelatin capsules that we have, that we showed you we used for baking soda, you can also use the same capsules for the eggshells, and 1 or 2 of these capsules per day will be great, especially for a pregnant woman or anybody who feels that they need to add more calcium to their diet. Menopausal is a great, someone with arthritic problems. Anyone who needs calcium or feels that they need calcium, and pretty much all of us.
Coffee grind.
Oh, and this particular blender is really good for grinding. We grind our own coffee in this blender too. Pretty much any kind of blender will work for this. You don't have to have an expensive blender, or even a simple little coffee grinder will work for pulverizing your eggshells, get it into a powder form or close to a powder form, so that it can be put into the capsules, and then you can just eat them that way. Okay, we pulverized the eggshell, and we're going to use these gelatin capsules. They're a double O, it's called a V-cap. It's a gelatin capsule you can buy at any health food store. And here's how much of the calcium powder we got from the amount of eggs that we just showed you. And it's between 24 and 36 eggs that were boiled and then pulverized. Now, depending on the type of, oh, and here's the end result after it's into a capsule. So take 2 a day, and you'll be fine. And that's pretty much it. So just put them into the capsules and you're good to go. And it's a very, very inexpensive way to get a highly bioavailable form of calcium that, that has good energy and is good for the body.